Sweden will be engulfed by a civil war, and that war, unless Swedes in large numbers wake up to what is happening, will result in Swedes' subjugation and Islamization. In the aftermath of the terrorist attacks in Brussels, Sweden is already grappling with violent threats against its town population and institutions. A recent survey of first responders and law enforcement officials shows Swedes doubt their ability to respond effectively to an attack. As we have seen in places such as Lebanon and Yugoslavia, the most dangerous point is reached when a Muslim minority grows powerful enough to challenge the political supremacy of the non-Islamic society around it, he said. That point need not be when Muslims approaching parity with non-Muslims. It can occur sooner if the host society is otherwise enfeebled and unable or unwilling to mount a defense, a situation that prevails in Europe today. Criminal immigrants have robbed and molested Swedes for a long time. Police have clearly shown that they lack the means to stave off their rampage, and we now see no other alternative than to ourselves hand out the punishment they deserve, reads the text of a leaflet published on the group's website. But we refuse to accept the repeated assaults and harassment against Swedish women, the leaflet said, as cited by the Daily Mail. Safe society. When our political leadership and police show more sympathy for murderers than for their victims, there are no longer any excuses to let it happen without protest. Police made several arrests, according to Aftonbladet. The attacks are linked to football gangs and far-right groups. Still, city authorities have not yet confirmed any immigrants have been assaulted. They came from Drottninggatan, Stockholm's main shopping street, and walked down toward the square and began to turn on immigrants. A witness is cited by the local. I saw maybe 3 people who got beaten. I was quite scared, so I left. The rampage followed a rally of some 200 people who protested the presence of refugees in the northern European country, reports Aftonbladet. They were handing out leaflets saying, "Enough now." They were scattering leaflets which had the intention to incite people to carry out crimes, Stockholm police confirmed in a statement on its website. Swedish towns have become terror hubs. Lawlessness is rampant. Violent crimes skyrocket. There is a now constant state of violence, terror, and fear. Swedish police warn that Stockholm's main train station is now overrun by migrant teen gangs, stealing and groping girls. Hundreds of Muslim migrant youth are living on the streets in Stockholm. They attack security guards at the main station. Police say they sexually assault girls and slap them in the face when they protest. Gangs of young male refugees overpowered women and children at a train station in Stockholm, Sweden in recent days, and then robbed and groped them. Some of the migrants who may be as young as 9, roam the streets day and night, according to the Daily Mail. They have been offered help from Swedish authorities, but have refused it, living in the streets instead. Swedish police warn that Stockholm's main train station has become unsafe and often being taken over. However, there is little sign the Swedish political class will back down from importing more refugees. Former Prime Minister Fredrik Reinfeldt recently denied any suggestion Sweden is collapsing. If Sweden is collapsing and nothing is working, what words do we have left to describe what is happening in Syria right now, he asked. No-go zones are becoming a fact of life throughout much of Europe, and especially those countries that have been most committed to a welcoming policy towards Muslim immigrants, said Davis. Far from demonstrating a sense of gratitude, Muslims are insisting an ever greater privilege against the norm of the indigenous society. While individual Muslims may seek to integrate into their host societies, the political nature of Islam means that as Muslim immigrant communities grow in size and presence, their resistance to the surrounding political regime will necessarily increase. Davis also warned a growing Muslim population could lead Sweden into the kind of social chaos that has swept other nations. The no-go zone exists, contrary to blanket mainstream media denial and demonization of anyone who dares to say that they do exist. These are areas where Muslims respect only the Sharia, not the law of the land, and they're growing. The attack on the camera crew shows that Muslims in these areas believe that they can act with impunity without fear of any consequences from the government or police.